So, welcome back to Flat Earth Talk. Today, with another nice picture of the Flat Earth 2D model, which I have extended to another world outside and the world inside where we might come from, or in other words, the Garden of Eden. Here we are at Let's. This is edition 22. Look at this number. This is incredible. I really signed it double two, but it looks like 1 and 1. But okay, it's 22. The writing on the sign on the whiteboard is not actually, it's a blackboard. It's not so easy, so I have to make it more slow for the next time. But nobody's perfect. Number 2. Yes, it's hot again. Nearly 30 degrees on Sunday morning, 12 o'clock around. And we will load the blog. We talk about the term racism. That's another anti-Semitism. I can show you this term is another ideological term, weapon to argue with other people or to make other people shut up. So we call the other one anti-Semite or something like this. The other one in a very bad position, in a position that he needs to defend him or herself. And so this is really something, really a weapon. This blog, you have to look up in the descriptions of, I don't know which number anymore, but there I was already explaining what kind of bullshit this word is, as the Jews are actually not Semites, but Ashkenazi, Khazarian Jews by ethnic roots and mixed up with others and members of Freemasonry. Every member of Freemasonry is a Jew because they make an oath to Elohim, which in my opinion is Satan, but they call it God. Their God is Satan, and you only need to look at the details of this Freemasonry, which has a lot of knowledge, of course, that's for sure. They keep the knowledge secret, but that's not the universal knowledge, for sure also. And these people, I would like to call them psychopaths, absolutely. They are actually soldiers. Everything has to do with military anyway. It's all military ranking. Also the Pope is like a general, and they give orders. And so these Freemason idiots, they're real idiots. They only follow orders. And one of these idiots you can see, this is this circle. This is vitally of the people. So on this must finish this unconscious behavior. So these people have to wake up as well, or go. And for these people, they will, and they will try to drag most of the people who were innocent before they want to take them into hell as well. And according to the Bible, it's already stated, you can read this out, they might be successful, but this is all about us, about ourselves. You only need to turn around and turn away from these idiots. So, here we are, racism. This is my own thought to this. Racism, again, you have to look at the term. So you have this race and ism, actually. So this ism is, of course, the ending. The M is just put on, and for all these kind of words or terms. But it's about race, and race is also running race or driving race or something. And it is a kind of race, but this is the satanic race only. Racing around and who is the better one and competing. And Black Lives Matter now, and maybe before the Lives Matter more, 100 years ago. So it's about race, and races are, in my opinion, I might not be 100% correct in this, but races are determined by different factors, mostly because of which region of the world, like Africa. You can say in general the African race. So, but in Africa you have also different races as well. You can call it Southeast Asian race, European race. Before I was also thinking that European race is actually a mixture of Asian and African race as well. Because you can see when you travel those places, maybe from South Africa up to the Middle East, and then into Europe, and then from Europe to Asia and until Southeast Asia, you can see it's always like the slang is changing when you go from one country to another. Slang is changing of people. So that means we are actually one human race, that's for sure, but with different attitudes. And this is, that's why every race has to be at its home where the roots are. This is very important. So you have to see the race like a plant or like a tree. What happens now is outrooting. So they're outrooting Asian and African people, bring them to a strange place, using the decoys, money, especially money, and then these people go there, and especially now very criminal people. So that's why this is race, and racism is, in my opinion, actually not a bad term, but they make it a bad term because they introduce the word racism by just saying through the media that's a racist, but already criticizing this one. Yeah, and so automatically becomes a bad term because if you're racist, that means you are for the race or for a certain race. Usually, you are, if you are not insane, you are for your race, the race that you belong to. And this is mostly physically seen outside. Yeah. So the white race has the light skin and maybe also blue eyes and blonde hair, but it doesn't necessarily need to be. Then that in America you would call it the Hispanics. They have already darker, but still. And then you have the Arabs, similar to the Spaniards because this is already a mixture as well. And then down to the Africans. Even in South Africa you find there are more brownies actually. They're not so black. Sudan or in the central regions of Africa. So it's more likely the race about how people look like, but actually about the living place. It's about the mentality. And this is the difference between the different races. If you go on holiday and you open your eyes, you will see that these people have totally different behavior. They can welcome you for 1, 2, 3 days even, but then they take care of their own lives and you're not part of this. It's not possible because you have a different mentality. It's like we are thinking the right way around and they are thinking the left or otherwise. Yeah. And there's nothing wrong about how they do or how we do. This is only another way how they manage their life in their society. So things which I experience in foreign things that I don't find good, which I have learned this is not a good behavior, like dirty bathroom and so on. This is normal. They don't want this hospital cleanliness where you are, uh, you might be sick, get sick easily as well because it's too so it's about races, and so a racist for me in the definition, not in the interpretation, is actually what stands for race. So you can have black racist, white racist, brown racist, yellow racist, and from every nation. And every nation should stand to its racial background. Every nation has the right to do this and must do this, but it doesn't mean, and this is the wrong interpretation, it doesn't mean that you put down other races. You yourself, your own race, for yourself above. That means recognize more than others, because the others can take care of themselves. But I don't talk bad about other races, something like this, or I don't put them down, or I say we are better and we will defeat you and you will be vanished from this earth because you are just dirty, but you are just bad people or something. If you think like this, that's the racism. It also belongs maybe to racism, and this is exactly what's used nowadays. I get the birthday messages. Okay. So I'm writing down. Racism is nothing else than an ideology, because of ideal also. The birthday is coming, and 2 other birthdays. So we have 8 birthdays. Okay. So ideology is also about idea and logic, but also it refers to Freemason lodges. How we call this? The branches, the clubs. We call it in German Loge. Sounds a little bit like French. So this is also inside the ideologies coming from these clubs. Yeah. And then presented in the government. And government members are members of these clubs. This is how it works. They do this first, they plan this first in an agenda, so 20 years ahead, and then they fulfill this. And sometimes I think at the moment they are quite late and they want to push things further. This makes people waking up. So anyway, racism is an ideology about the individuality of your own culture. And So every culture, even though it is a cult, you know, so this is something about rituals as well. Uh, this is individual. So every, let's say every folk, every nation has its own rituals, and they play, and whatever, if they are Judean, Christian, or they are pagans, or whatever, this is up to them. If people want to, like in Thailand, they like to worship some figures, uh, the Buddha or something. This is up to them. If they want to worship the doll or something like this is okay. This is the way they do, and other people, like Christian, actually pray to the sun. Uh, this is also up to everyone. Has to find out the right way to connect to the source. So out of this, you have consciousness for your race. This is what is missing in the white race nowadays, because they have this story of badness and Adolf Hitler and so on. So it was actually created for this, that the white race now not caring about good racism in a good manner. I don't like to use the word to be proud of your race or proud of yourself, because pride always comes before the fall. So this pride we actually don't need, and I see this now in Asian countries, especially as I live in Asia. An example, proud to be a Filipino. Oh, this doesn't sound good, yeah, because it makes them. It's a direction where, you know, the the monkeys. I don't want to say the monkeys, but it looks like monkeys, stupid, with their fist on their chest, proud, 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 and we are now ready to fight, and we will liberate ourselves, and maybe even kill all the white people or something. This is the wrong. This is actually what they want, the chaos. They want to use all kind of people to do this. So before they used for colonialization, India, they used the white armies in South Africa as well, other places, and this is now taught in the history in the white people countries as very bad. And so when they learn this, of course, the white people are very bad, and now it's time for revenge. This is a danger, because both sides are used by the ruling power. So you have a racial consciousness. It is okay, because you have to stick to your race as possible. Maybe now is more difficult, because we are so much divided that we cannot stand together. There's even the song of Pink Floyd, "United we stand, divided we fall." This is now the time falling. Before, the white people mainly together, and this you could see the example of Germany. So that's why Germany got strong for a time, and was struggling against the whole world, or nearly the whole world, which is of course impossible. And so this racial consciousness makes the desire for your own identity. You want to have your own identity, and this is now only about racial identity. I suggest go much further. So put the race also aside, uh, but not out of, but aside, because it's more about the identity of who you are really, and this is not about the race. Yeah. But now about racism, this is your identity. This is how other people see you. You can be a leftist idiot, I call it, and say, Germany must perish, or America must die, or something, or England must die. that whatever, that we have a future, like the punks say, no future. So this, even this ideology, if you go to other countries like Asia or even the foreigners in your country, uh, they see you as a white man, and in this case, they just see you as a white man, uh, and if they go for a real race, that means running, then they will hunt you down. You are the white man, and it doesn't matter if you don't care about this or if you are against the right people. Uh, so you will be a victim as well, and this is we might see that even the left people have to run away. In some cases, it happens in Germany also. Uh, One case I remember that also a leftist club was for this, foreigners came and destroyed everything and understand what happened. Why the foreigners do this with us? We are friends with foreigners. We say, "Oh, you can't come in." Now they do this to us. They couldn't understand this. And there are also other. The grandson of Konrad Adenauer, which the first chancellor of Germany. Um, the grandson was beaten up, I think, by foreigners or something. So even these people at hands, and so they have to realize those foreign elements who are full of hatred. Uh, this is the bad racism, uh, because this wrong education as well, and the frustration. Then this happened really to everyone. So it doesn't matter because they see you, like I said before, the way German by your appearance, how you look like. When I roam around here in the city, I forget that I'm in a foreign land and I see the people just as people, but they see me different. They see, oh, this is a foreigner. And then when I'm called, then I realize the situation. And this is always a racial situation, or you can, even when you don't like it, because when it's too much, you don't like it, then you can say that this is racism already, in a bad meaning, because it's already disturbing. This is, on the other hand, is normal because you look different and different as well, in a different way. And that's why it's normal that some people in their country, that these people, the right people, that they call the others foreigners. Even if they have a English or German citizenship, it doesn't matter. They are still foreigners because they look foreign. And even in the cases of mixed race, it is still a foreigner because he looks like this. In some cases, you don't see the foreign blood inside, but usually, especially with black mixture, African mixture, you can clearly see it. So you have the desire for your own identity, in this case, racial identity, in the living space of your language. So living is determined by where are the people speaking English. So when we think about the chef law from the put above the constitution, so-called constitution, the law, then uh, this this law, what I want to say, sometimes happens. I have to find back. This law talks about Germany is defined in the borders of 31st December 1937. Yeah. Because 1938 Austria came to this, so that means exclude Austria. But that means in the Pomerania, Silesia, and all of East Prussia. So this is still how Germany is defined until today. And this is something that means, oh, this is Germany. But in actual fact, now in these lands, mostly Polish-speaking people, not only but in Eastern Pomerania and Silesia, the part which belongs to Poland, this is all Polish. So when you there, this is our land, and you go there, and I did it myself. Only Polish-speaking people. You know? Some other people they can speak some German, and I met in Breslau. I met one woman who was not too old yet, but she was about 60 in a bakery. She was German. She spoke German, just normal. She never left. So that means this is not our living space. How I see things in the laws. This belongs to this. I would not change to make a peace treaty. I would say it's now the land where we live in the borders that we have now in Germany, and this is the Polish land, and all that's it. The Polish writer Adam Mickiewicz once said, "Everything can change. You can have a socialist system, but not the border. The border should not change." On the other hand, Adolf Hitler, the borders can always change. There's no natural law saying that the border has to be stable all the time. But this means that means war means sacrifice, and sacrifice is always human blood sacrifice is always some for Satan, or at least some painful for Satan. So I disagree to this. That's why we make an agreement, but only when Germany is ready for this. At the moment, the people just don't care if there's a peace treaty or not. So when there's treaty, then there's war. So you don't need to wonder that all these things happen. And so I would make peace with Poland and of course other countries, especially now the USA. We have to make peace, and second Russia and so on, one by one, with government, and not by something like this federation, Jewish federation. So, and that's why you can see that the racial living is now exactly as you see the border now on the maps, and it's not from a mainland Silesia anymore. This you have to accept, and some right-wing people would not. But this is, in my opinion, the dangerous part, because this would mean trouble. Because don't think that the Polish people were in the east, from Vilna, they came to Stettin, and from Lemberg, they came to Breslau, Wrocław. So these people are now Silesian people and Pomeranian people. They see themselves also like that. And before also there were especially Silesian people out of the river Oder, were Polish people. So it was already in the like mixed. But I think a country should be defined by the race and by the language. And the border as it is now is the right border. You know? Even though it's the smallest Germany ever, and this is of course, if you have countries surrounding you, they are enemy, and it's for you because you cannot defend yourself really. So that means Germany cannot really be independent anymore. That's true. In theory, it was only possible with Hitler's idea to take the whole of Europe and to be the leading country of Europe. It was the only chance for liberation. But in practice, it is also not the right way. So anyway, this is the living space, and the Poles have their living space, and we cannot make the country in the Polish living space, but they speak Polish language. So that, let's say, if we take this for granted, and then the tariff law borders of 1907, this would not work out because you would have millions of Polish people in German land, which is actually also the case. That's why now Polish people, for already a longer time, since 2004, Polish people migrate to Germany as well to get social welfare. In Poland, it's already these people. And this is only possible for people who live on the soil of old Germany. That's also interesting information. So we get already people actually in, but this is, in my opinion, should not this. The Poles have to be for themselves. That's why I would not agree to take Pomeranian and make them learn German language, and after one generation, the generation can speak German quite well, even with a Silesian accent. So this I disagree, because I also see that Polish people also look different. Slavian look. Germany you can see also nowadays as Deutschland. Deutsch is for me something like already quite mixed. You have Slavian people for sure, and Germanic people, and also some French people. So there's some mixture out of the neighboring countries. That's quite okay. This you said between the countries. That's quite common. So it's about the identity with the language and the traditional values. So that means one has to go back to the traditional values, like you can still see when I was in Bavaria. Bavaria has these traditional values, even though it is also going down, but it was always the strongest in this case, and that's why they want to have their own state as well. And they have actually something like a free state. So, but the leftists, the word link in German language, it means turn around. That means turn on the wrong side. So these people think upside down. They turn around. They actually positive term. Now I have to correct this word. The good term, because positive just means to say yes to this. So it's a good term, and make it the opposite. They say this to the people who have no idea as racial hatred. Racism is then suddenly racial hatred. So you have two different words and you put them just together. Two different have the same meaning. So when I say racism, this is one thing. It's about race, and it can include also hatred, because when you have this racism that you think you are better than others and you have to put your foot on other races. You know, you for yourself, you take care of your race, and you cannot judge others. That means you can, of course, have your opinion about other races. You can say, yeah, they're smart people or something, and in another way they are not so good. And about yourself, you can criticize yourself as well. And this is a good thing. So, and actually a good term, it's turned into this bad term of racial hatred. Racism is not hate. Racial hatred, racial hatred. This is let's say part of racism, because racism is about race, and that means it's about everything belonging to race. And in race, every race has also some racial hatred toward races, especially in this time. These things are there in every race. You can go also to Black Africa or to Asia. You will find like, especially white people, yeah, or who don't like something. You find it everywhere. Here in Malaysia, I also saw that some Chinese people in a Chinese place, and then no Muslim allowed. But this has another reason, because they eat their pork in places, and so it's a warning for the Muslim: don't enter because we don't like to eat pork. But they live for themselves, second-class citizens in Malaysia, because Malaysia is Malay country, uh, and so Chinese people who are actually doing economy, because they are business people. Chinese people only think about making money. They are Jews of the East, you can say. The dragon is the snake, and the snake is the devil. So they have this this evil root about money, money, money. They are only working about money, business. But this economy, the so-called development, the devil on your mind. And so that means the Malaysia have also some benefit of this. They profitize from this because the Chinese tax. And then you have also the Indian people. They live for themselves. And there you see the racism. Normal, you cannot. This is also in Western countries. That's why you have these ghettos and all Jewish ghetto in the past. This is all normal because people usually stick to themselves. And the more and more foreigners come living quarter, then German people move out, and only some are left behind, so to say. So this turning around the meaning of racism to make it a meaning of racial hatred only, and especially only the racist is actually only the white man. Yeah. People blame themselves like this. This is not the case. You have racial hatred everywhere. It might be even increasing. I hope that the people wake up and then just agree. There's no need to fight for something like this, because there is something which is more important as the who you are, human or man. This is the big question. So this is the deed level. Twisting things around. This is the twisted of the snake. So that means takes a part out of racism, hatred, and says racism is racial, but only for white people. When black people say the same thing, but to the white people, that's okay. And this is not okay, of course. So the true meaning of the word is often the opposite from what they tell you. And true meaning you always find if you look at the main part of the word, and sometimes it is coming from, or actually many times it's coming from a foreign language like Latin language, Greek, maybe Hebrew, and other languages also German and the Roman languages and English, and even from other parts of the world as well. So interestingly, all human tribes, all nations, I would say, especially Asians, have a strong racial consciousness. But I think this was also development, remember the meaning. It was developed uh, after the Second World War, maybe before, but step by step more and more. Because before I think they were also not so much this, especially this for the Philippines. I have to criticize, as I travel the Philippines, the Filipinos don't say proud to be Filipino. You just have to Google for this, and you see this, the stickers and so on, and then people with the flag of the Philippines, Freemasonry flag of the Philippines on their face, and of course the sports competitions and so on. Philippines is basketball and boxing, so boxing is about fighting. Then the Filipinos in America fight with the Mexicans and so on. It's all bullshit, huh? And so they are proud to be Filipino, and they don't know about their own history, because Philippines was discovered first by Magellan, and he was then defeated on Mactan Island in the Visayas by Lapu-Lapu, which was a young warrior, and Magellan was already old, so it was actually easy to defeat this leader, and then they could escape and came back to Portugal, I think, and then they go for a longer time because it was meant to be very dangerous. This was because, I think the information that you have to be careful about these European gangsters, because they came with a cross. They came with a cross, this Judeo-Christian thing, so came as the Jews to take over this country. So the of Lapu-Lapu, so a big fish named after him, big expensive fish, selling at $100 to $1,000 in Germany. But so they defeated, but a certain time later, years later, they tried again. Because in Spain, Portugal and Spain was together at that time. They of course decided we have to go for this land. There's a lot of resources and we can use the people. So they went again, but to another place. Now we call it Legazpi City. And in Legazpi City, in the south of the biggest island, Luzon, they got the connection. They make it a special way. There are also other islands close to Cebu. One island was Bohol, and there I learned how it is. They connect with local leader. Then they get some information, and this local leader, he says, inside the island there's the big strong leader, and so on. I cannot, do anything about it. Then they come with an idea, and they say, look, we have the ship, we have our warriors, so we can protect you, and we can go together and make a peace treaty with the one side island, and you can be the king of this island. We make you the king of this island. We just have to work together. So we help you and you will help us. And this is how they make the colonialization. They make an oath and so on. And so everything was done the Spanish way. And so because this local leader was empowered, he came this island, and the other was then thrown by also military exercise, because they don't surrender so easily, but then they had no chance against the weapon of the Spaniards. So yeah, there was this they did with already already more than 50, and so they took one arm and another land, and so in I think 300 years even the Spaniards ruled number. It's Freemason number 30. Spaniards ruled over the Philippines, the main base Manila, and so also with the Filipinos. This is the so-called mestizo. And what they brought was the language, official language Spanish. Then the Christianity, they were showing the picture of Jesus and say, this is our God, this can be your good life. You just build a church for all the old churches, like 500 years old from this time. And you build myself also a house, so priests. So there were only Spanish priests over there. Yeah, until the national hero of Philippines, now I forgot the name of him. That's sad. You have to look up national hero of the Philippines. Free town plaza. He is portrayed in the statue. So this writer, he was also many times in Spain, or educated in Spain as well. And you had also Philippine Spanish Parliament as well. So everything worked well. He somehow decided, proud to be Filipino. And then we want to have our independence. Because they realized that the Spanish leadership never makes it the way good for Filipino people. We need to have our own leadership, and this is true in a sense. And so they started the struggle. And so the Spaniards had to put an end to this. And first of all, they gave him to Dapitan on the north of Mindanao. And to be there in exile, I visited this place. It was very stupid that he left this place for revolution again, because he could have a peaceful life there. This is the official story. So really is true about this. Maybe he was just an agent of the Spaniards as well. So they were fighting then, the Spaniards. Then suddenly the Spaniards left. And the Filipinos didn't know why. But at the same time, there was the fight between America and Spain over Cuba. Spain, but the Spaniards lost, and they had to give Cuba away. And not only Cuba, they said, we want also the Philippines from you. And the Spaniards said, okay, let's wait because they have problems there anyway, so you can get this well. So that means this was actually the first step of America to take some more land outside their area. The Spanish Empire was already in full decline, and the English was in full power already. So actually America, I think USA took over in the name of England, of the English crown, and you have to know who's behind the English crown. No? Rothschild, the Rothschild family, of course. So, and then this guy was executed. I still don't have the name of him. It's really, really poor. But it's already a longer time. I was thinking about it. Anyway, and suddenly the Americans came with warships, and the Filipinos were fighting again. But this time the Americans, they knew already. They were informed, so they were fighting really with no mercy. In one island, they killed all people included women and children. And then the Filipinos stopped to fight because they were told, their leaders were told, if you continue fighting, we just kill all people in all islands and we take over the land. If you want to survive, then we make a better deal. And so they make a deal, and the Americans, they brought the school system. And now you might think, oh, this is something better. You educate the people, but research this already about the school in the name of it, then you know that it's all about the brain of the people. So they make from the churches to the schools the song of Dire Straits, Telegraph Road. You have to listen to this. This is a good song saying how the things develop. Yeah? Came the railway, then came roads, then and then came the lawyer, then came laws and the rules and whatever, something like this. Listen to this song. It says everything. And so at that time when I was in the Philippines, I thought, okay, the Americans did it better. But now I know that this is even worse. That is to bring the church. So you see the church, the people sitting there on the churches. The next step is the schools. It's the same way. You have not a teacher anymore, you have a teacher. And this is the same way of rainbow or the sheeple. Yeah, and then the Second World War came, and you can see the development during this time, during the American time, and also Filipinos, but only especially mestizo and the rich Filipinos, they benefited, and you can see that how Manila develops and so on. And this is, of course, you see something. It looks like it's improving. It's getting modern. Time, and so nobody thinks anything bad about it. It will go on. But then the Japanese came and liberated the Philippines from the Americans in the name of Asia for the Asians, which is right. And the Filipinos collaborated also with them, but bow down to the stronger attitude, and so the strong Americans were defeated. MacArthur said, "I'll come back," and I think 2 years later he already came back to liberate the Philippines again. The weakened Japanese, and so then they made a deal. They made a deal that the Filipinos have to help to defeat the Japanese. So the Filipinos, when the Americans were successful, they were joining. That means the Phil-Army became stronger and stronger the more they were successful. because they got more and more people on their side. And so the Japanese had to surrender. They had to sign the treaty of surrender in Baguio City, which you can also visit in the north of Luzon in the mountains. And then MacArthur, I think he's together with another Filipino leader, I forgot the name. And then the Filipino leader said, look, we want to have the independence. And the Americans said, you can be another state of us, you know, like Hawaii, because in Hawaii is also kind of Filipino Indonesian people. And this Filipino leader, he said, no, we want to have our independence. It was prosperous before we joined the forces, and you have to keep your Americans said yes, okay, but please, we want to have a 50 years contract for using, for military bases. So this is no longer facility for the Marines, and in Angeles City for the Air Force. And this was then used in the Vietnam War. From there they were starting flying over Vietnam. And so I was there as well. Angeles is very well known for Field Street. This is a place like walking street there. I went there as well, and the Clark Air Base is active again. But at that time it was American, Filipino, some Americans came back for training exercises, and it was only stopped by the eruption of Mount Pinatubo, which is nearby. In 1991, you can look at this. There are videos about this, and everything damaged through lahar. Lahar is the dust, hot dust, and so it was not useful to rebuild this for the last 5 years. The independence was 1940, so it was 1990 the Pinatubo eruption. So until 1996, not useful. So said, okay, forget about the last 5 years. We are out, and they left the Filipinos with all this shit. So the Filipinos rebuilt it themselves, maybe with some aid, Americans as well. I don't know if they still had to pay for the other 5 years. The Americans wanted to have an extension, but the Filipino government said no extension. We don't want any more like this, because they have been part of this aggression against Vietnam. So whatever reason, what I learned about this is Filipino. And Philippines is coming from a foreigner. Philippines is referring to the young king of Spain, King Felipe. It was named after him. The country was given to him because he took over the Philippines. And so that is 500 years ago. That means the country is called after the king of Spain. This has nothing to do with the people living there, really. They only submitted to the stronger. So I don't know how you can be proud to, there you see the foolish pride. You have to get more knowledge about this and then remove this. Actually, it's of course very hard to remove because the country is known as the Philippines. Filipinos 100% accept this, but actually call themselves according to their language. Tagalog people, or Luzon people, Visayan people, which is also used, the term Visayan people. They have Visayan language there. This is a country with, 700 and more than 100 Malayan type languages. So on every island they speak another language. So that's why they have the national language, Filipino, or in other words, Tagalog. And you know, now we have where also a Muslim living in the south. It was a Muslim country, Muslim place before. So this is the thing. So there you see already there's something. Indonesia is a similar thing. I think India really, even though there's also some Indian shrines and so on, Hindu shrines or whatever. I mean in Bali especially, but this is also not really the name of these areas. Probably they would have many countries there if there would not be colonialization. And you find that Philippines and Thailand and Malaysia, they have these blue, white, red flags, the colors of Freemasonry. So anyway, this was only an example of how wrong the racism can, because you identify yourself with something which is from outside. So there the people have to look further, more conscious of who they are really. For sure not Filipinos. Even though it would mean that they become divided again, because when not Filipinos, then they can themselves to the islands into their languages. Yeah. Filipino is a colonial word, and that means you are just a slave. This is what I want to say. Filipino, you are a slave, and you call yourself Filipino. But I also know that it is hard to change this so much in our and even myself. Yeah. But I think it's better to refer to the language and to the name of the island. And even the name of the island could be from the Spanish. Yeah, Luzon, maybe Mindanao. Oh, it sounds very Portuguese, Spanish. So to search this for yourself, you have to solve this yourself. So these Asian people have this racial somehow, at least for we together, let's say Filipinos or as Thai, and they have their national pride. Yeah? Pride. So this national pride, I would be more careful about, because it means that you put yourself above others when you meet them. You see, you can say for yourself, we are the best, because this is how we live and we live this way, and other other races or other nations, they have other attitudes, and this is what we don't like. Okay, that is to yourself, but you cannot go in front of other other people, other from foreign land, and say this is the foolish pride. But now for the leftists in the Western countries, when they realize this Filipino national pride, same thing for Turkish people, national pride, waving with their flags in Germany, and not only for football games. Then for the leftist idiots, oh, that's okay, foreigners can do this. When the Germans wave the wrong flag, actually, this black, red, and yellow flag, with this liberal flag, this is not okay. This is not okay. The police even says put the flag down. We don't have any problem with the foreigners. Can we do this? It's possible like this. I think in England maybe also already like this. But so you see, side can do this, okay. So they can get pushed up to this national pride, which is not good. this is hurting them as well in the end, because pride always comes before the war. Yeah, and these less idiots, they don't allow their own people to be like this. So either all nations can have a national pride, or better no one. So that means if we learn from history, and if we say, okay, national pride is no good, so we don't need to wave our flags anymore, it doesn't matter, we are just human, or we are just man, this is the better term, that's fine for me, this is actually the right direction, then please for every nation, and when a nation is pride to their nation and showing the flags, then the Germans or the Western people can show their flag as well. You have to accept. So now in Germany, when they show the flags, and not even the flag, which is the right flag for Germany, then easily you are called Nazi. You are a Nazi. Ask, what is Nazi? What is a Nazi? And then, of course, it's referring to National Socialism. To re-establish National Socialism, or the ideas of National Socialism, is forbidden by law. Okay, so when the leftist is calling the right man a Nazi, in referring to National Socialism, that means you can go to court. And this is even one court case where a leftist was sentenced. Not a big sentence, but he's not allowed to say this, except when the court decides, okay, because of this, you really engage into national socialism and you are sentenced. This can happen as in that case, he was called Nazi for nothing, because they have, to wave the flag and to be for Germany doesn't mean a Nazi, even not for this Jewish jurisdiction. So, but for me, Nazi means also something else. When you research this Nazism, then you come to this National Zionism, National Zionism. You come to this, and then you realize, oh, the Zionists are actually behind the Nazis. If you realize this with the Rothschild connection, then Nazi is National Zionist. Nazi. So, and this is a Yiddish pest that is going around in the Western world, in the Western countries, and looking for the sacrifice, and found the victims. Yeah? Welcome to Absurdistan. Absurd. It is absurd. So Absurdistan is like Pakistan, Absurdistan. So easy thing, no? So tomorrow I will talk about this Je suis Charlie. This is a good thing, and I have a link for astronomy as well. About the flat Earth. I want to look how it is tomorrow, because there is actually a lot of things which I could do tomorrow. So this is one thing, because then we come also to the English. Soon to the English part. There's an English part towards the end. So this one I will do the day after tomorrow with this link. Like this. And this one I will do tomorrow. Yes, with respect to astronomy. So for today, yeah, I recommend to look at dire straits. but I have another song which I would like to play. So I'm going out of here. There is another song. Should I do this on desktop or better inside? I think I do it better inside this. Towards the end I want to play a song for you, which I wanted to play yesterday in the Flat Earth video, and I just forgot about this paper. This is a nice song. So I have to open YouTube. Just wait a sec. YouTube, and then we search on YouTube. For this song. So YouTube is coming. We click on this already. We have to go on search. Needs to open first, and then we have new fakes. New fakes. And here he is not suggesting anything, so I go on JERAnism. JERAnism, and I look for this. So it should be face parody, or be the video actually. See? It's the video I want to put. That's some fun about the NASA. NASA, show us some fakes. The only thing is, I think it can open. Yeah, it will open. And I better shut my mouth now, that you can listen to this song, and I say bye.
Oh, algebra, don't you know? No, where should I go? Cause what we saw. We're wanted. Can't see why some lunatics wanna do. No, my style.
All these sloppy, choppy crappies gotta go.
please. With laugh. Yes. Enter E. Pick my natus. Keep it in the sky.
Gonza Fonsa Hokuyoda Ponantusa Nipusa Utila
NASA goes nowhere.
The it
NASA big chair.
We want some fakes.
New fakes. New fakes. New fakes. New fakes.
Some new fakes.
Hey, we want some fakes.
New fakes.
Hey, we want some fakes. NASA goes nowhere.
The it
Fakes. Share. We want some fakes. New fakes. New fake. Sí, porque yo necesito
you know that?
from the
technology. Punches. I has request the former from the first Rahim, general of affiliated who are this school and affiliated addicted the